Hello everybody, and welcome to Dungeons & Dragons Valkyrie, a homebrew Dungeons & Dragons game where a bunch of people who were originally strangers on Reddit become the best of friends while playing Dungeons & Dragons live for you every Monday night at 6 p.m. to 9 p.m. Central Standard Time. Today, though, it might go a little bit earlier. We are missing one of our characters, Mira, played by Rachel. Unfortunately, she could not make it tonight, and, well, it all depends on how quickly it takes us to get to the grand event, which will probably be at the beginning of next week's episode. So again, we'll probably be going for maybe 2 hours, maybe 2.5, possibly all three. Who knows? But I am joined today with the same incredible players from last week, minus Rachel. So I will let them all introduce themselves, starting with Brandon. Say hello, Brandon.
Hello, I'm Brandon. I play Jax, the Black Dragonborn Paladin.
Perfectly done. And go ahead and say hello to us, Fred.
Hello, I'm Fred, and I play Tristan Darkleaf, the human fighter.
Perfect. And Justin, say hello and anything that you wish to plug.
Hi, I'm Justin. I play the Fire Genasi Warlock Zashmar Efreet. Well, kind of. I half play him now.
He is currently being taken over by another entity, which is trapped in the amulet, which is attached to him permanently. They have been trying to go up to the top of the mountain, but we will get into that in just a minute. First off, I would like to thank Kevin McLeod, who makes some incredible works, which he makes available on the interwebs for anyone to use, because he just likes to share his work. That's incredible, I think. So thank you very much to him. Also, a huge shout out to @jmool on Reddit, who made an amazing comic strip for us that was like really awesome, and it was one from one of the funnier bits in the campaign where like one of our characters, Kel, who was a short-term player, came in, and there was a scene where he made a bunch of rats in this inn, and it was funny. So go ahead and check that out. Check out that comic strip. Check out jmool. As well as thank you very much to @Carly Matson on Twitter, who made our very first ever fan art, which was this incredible piece which featured Jax, Mira, Delilah, and Zash all standing side to side, which was really awesome. If you guys want to send us anything, please, please, please send us fan art. We would love to get it. We would love to feature it. We would love to give you shout outs to keep this fan art train rolling. So go ahead and send it to either the Twitter, which is The Majestic GMNG, sort of like my Twitter, except there's no vowels at all in gaming. It's just GMNG, sort of like my Twitch, I mean, not Twitter. So my Twitter is The Majestic GMNG. Go ahead and send them there, and they will be featured up on this stream every Monday night, or in the intro of the stream as well, with your Twitter handle put on that. So that's a great way to get your name out there. But we do need to do the recap of what happened in the days leading up to this. The group decided to head to the top of Mount Edward in an effort to reach the Valkyrie. One of the main reasons for this was that the amulet, which attached itself to Zash and wouldn't come off, needed to find peace or be released somehow. Either way would allow it to get off of Zash's skin and no longer attach his soul to the soul trapped inside of it. But there was an incident at one point where Zash died and the soul brought him back, and the soul used part of his own life force to bring Zash back, and it took up some of his energy. And now, as they're getting closer and closer, the soul is beginning to force itself into Zash's not only consciousness, whereas in the past it was just more so dominating over his subconscious. It's forced himself into his consciousness, but also hugely affecting the way that he thinks, views others, including his friends, and is reacting to them. In the end of the last episode, they fought a dragon and incidentally took it down way easier than I was expecting. But Brandon joked about how he killed the dragon before Zash had an opportunity to. Zash didn't know that the dragon was telling some secrets and then died of the wounds inflicted earlier, and that Jax jabbing him did absolutely nothing. He thought that Jax stole his kill, and this made him very mad. at Jax. In that instant, he fought back with almost everyone, seeing that everyone was turning against him, seeing that everyone was, in reality, trying to calm him down, and possibly, in the case of Mira, trying to keep their word of keeping Zash in line. He knew that the tables were quickly turning. Him being surrounded, he had no options, but the soul trapped inside the amulet did. In the blink of an eye, Zash disappeared through what would appear to be a doorway that appeared for just an instant and was gone from their view. So, guys, actually, I'm going to say Jax, and Tristan. Zash just disappeared from your view. What is it that you do?
First thing I'm gonna do.
Also, the fire. Sorry, real quick. Just the fire elemental is no longer there, and that's not indicative of where his location is. I just don't want to delete it because I'm going to be bringing him back in a bit. So.
Okay. First, I want to try using our sending stone things and thinking. Zash, where'd you just go? I was kidding about the kill. It was just meant to be a joke.
All right. Do me a favor, Justin. Go ahead and roll just a base d20.
Mm. 16.
16. All right. You hear the voice in your head going, "Oh, those fools. How dare they treat us in such a way?" But very clearly you're able to hear your friend's voice talking in between the breaths almost of this entity inside your mind. You're able to hear Jax say that he was just kidding about that and that he is worried right now as to where you are.
No response.
No response. Alright. You look around you, Zash, and it's just as barren as the trail that you guys were passing along. You guys did notice that as you were walking, it started to get colder, of course. There was more frost accumulating on some of the rocks and in some of the dirt, turning it sort of to like a mush, but a gray mush, not like a brown mush. You're noticing now that where you are, it's just about as thick of a layer of frost over everything, but there's no main valley to travel in. In fact, if you were to guess, you'd say that you're up on one of the walls, on one of the sides of the valley where some of the rocks were jagged and poking up, it looked like. It is pretty flat across, but then there are a few outcroppings here and there, which make it rough terrain in some parts. But you can still clearly see the, I would say, top of the mountain, but you can see at least where the clouds just cover up the peak of the mountain. Do you continue to head toward the mountain?
Yeah.
Okay. You continue to walk your way up the mountain, and as you do, the voice, sort of aggressively, it says, Good, we're almost there. I could practically feel them surrounding us. They're watching us, I know it. Now, we might have to fight our way through at some parts. So I hope you're bloody well ready.
I was born ready to fight.
We're gonna go back to Brandon. Brandon, Jax did not hear, or you did not hear any response from Jax after saying Zash. There we go. Jax did not hear any response from Zash. And right now, you're looking at a dead dragon in front of you, very confused. Members of the Fighters Guild, Golfric is there. And now, making his way up, is Lord Awen and the two guards from earlier, along with Jeff, who all seem a bit surprised as to that you guys just brought the dragon, but they did see out of the peak of their eye, on their way up, Zash disappearing. Lord Awen says, "Where did he go? Where did that one thing go?"
I don't know where he went. He just vanished. I've never seen him do that before, but if this is the amulet, they're going straight to the top, and our best bet is to get there as fastly as possible.
There's no way, then, that he's heading back toward the capital?
I don't see why he would.
Right. Okay, then, if you feel 100% confident that he's moving up to the top of this mountain, then we go. Everybody ready? Most of the people sign in at this point. Jeff, Golfric, really anyone who's under the exact, I would say, order, command, payroll of Lord Awen, calls out at this point. Right? Tristan is also under his order as well, and Lord Awen expects a response from Tristan.
Yeah.
Okay. So he yells out, "Is everybody ready?" And then they're the mishmash, some very energetic, "Yeah, I'm ready." Golfric has a bit more of a timid, all right, yeah.
Tristan's just looking around. He's still confused about what just happened, so he's like, oh, yeah, sure.
Now I know that we don't know what to expect still once we reach the top of the mountain, and we don't have the amulet to get us through it. So, here goes nothing. He starts making his way quickly up the mountain, and now is the first time that you ever really start to see real leadership out of Lord Awen Jax. He, all this time, he always had people carrying his stuff. He's still having people carry his stuff, but he's actually putting the effort in to sort of lead almost a charge up the mountain at this very quick-paced movement.
Oh, sorry.
No problem. Go ahead.
I just want to pull the remainder of my companions, Delilah and Mira, aside, and I'm going to tell them everything that the dragon told me. About the Valkyrie not being who we thought they were. This might be dangerous. He said if we were to look into his name, we would discover everything that we need to know. We don't really have a way to do that.
Wait. How? I'm gonna try my best to do my best, Mira, but it's gonna be very difficult. Wait, how so are they not good?
I believe he said that they're actually fiends. Sure. Delilah also is going to chime in at this point because I gave her a spell before we got on the mountain, which is sending. And she's going to suggest that she use this spell to communicate with somebody who can look into the name for us.
Okay.
And it has to be someone that she's familiar with. I don't know if you would consider Grendel to be familiar to her. She did meet him.
You're gonna have Grendel do what?
Look into the dragon's name for us.
How does sending work exactly?
Okay, 1 second. It can be any distance, any plane, as long as you're familiar with the person.
Okay.
I'll read you send a short message of 25 words or less to a creature with which you are familiar.
Okay.
The creature hears the message in its mind, recognizes you as the sender if it knows you, and can answer in a like manner immediately. The spell enables creatures with intelligence scores of at least 1 to understand the meaning of your message. and you can send it across any distance and even to other planes of existence.
All right. I like that. What should the message say? Says Delilah really timidly.
Just let him know that you're with me, Jax. I'm sure he remembers you as well, but just in case, tell him that we need his help looking into, I wrote down the name, Edmonthari, I believe. Look into the name Edmonthari. I don't know exactly how your spell works, if he can respawn anytime or...
Yeah, he should be able to immediately respond to it, so, here goes anything, I guess. There should be a way to make it so that we can all hear it too. Hold on. She looks down and covers up her eyes a good bit and really concentrates, but sort of rubbing her forehead and head and eyes. She goes, "Hi, Grendel, I don't know if you remember me, but I was a friend of Jackson. Nonetheless, look into... What was his name?
Edmonthari.
Edmonthari. We're at the top of Mount Edward. Bye." Just says that, which I think was pretty close. I was trying my best to keep track of the number of words, but yeah. I might have been one over. I don't know. She's sitting there waiting, and then all of a sudden, her eyes open wide. She stands straight up. Her wings fly straight out, and she just stands there with a overpowering presence almost. And her eyes are glowing this bluish hue with no retina, just blue all the way across. Ah, yes. I will tell you all that you need to after your day up at the mountain. For now, just know, Jax, everything that happens is real. Remember that. And I will talk to you all after about the lore. Her eyes once again fade. You guys heard that too, right?
Yeah.
Okay. Are we ready to go?
Can you send one more message to, Lady Awen at the Citadel, just in case Zash does decide to go there.
Lady A1. Okay.
Just to warn her.
What am I warning her of?
Just say that, Zash warped somewhere. We have no idea where he went. We believe he's heading to the top of the mountain, but just in case...
Okay.
Increased forces or something.
Yeah, that's good thinking. Okay. Hi, it's Delilah. I don't know if you remember me, but I brought you back to life. The guy that killed you is gone. Watch out. Bye. That was
Great,
exactly
wait,
25.
The guy that killed you's gone, so look out. Perfect.
Okay. Do we all head up now? I'm about ready. I could kill Zash after what he pulled, says Mira.
Well, let's not kill him just yet. Give him the benefit of the doubt.
I don't know about you, but I made a promise, and I intend to keep my word.
I think I did as well, but I'm gonna try to avoid it.
Sorry to barge in, but did I take any fangs or teeth from the dragon?
Ah, that's right. While they're doing all this, you're probably searching the dragon real quick while everyone else is readying up. But you did say that at the last of the end of the last episode, so I'm gonna go ahead and say make a we'll say medicine check
Medicine.
for the anatomy of a dragon. I guess that would work. And
14.
14?
Yeah.
Yeah, I'd say that you're able to pull about 5 teeth intact in that time.
Okay. Thank you.
Was it just teeth that you were going for?
Yeah.
Okay. Right then. If everybody's ready. Here we go, says Lord Awen, and he begins just charging up the top of the mountain. Everyone slowly follows behind, and they're assuming that the lot of the current group of fighters, which have been unnamed yet, including Jax, Mira, and Delilah, are gonna follow up behind. We go back to Zash. We're almost there. I can almost taste the freedom. Can't you wait to get rid of me?
I can't wait to get to the top. Whatever that means.
Sort of, like, it's weird that this almost figment of your imagination is, like, slowly, like, running out of breath from you exercising. You can feel yourself running out of breath. You can feel yourself panting heavily, but you also hear him sort of panting as the air is so thin up here. But you guys just see within about 100 feet where the clouds meet the mountaintop. And just there at the base of it is a tiny house. Ha 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 ha! There it is. The doorway. Now, I don't know if you heard, but just kidding. Obviously I do. I have the ability to surpass this little test. But there's something that you should know. We can't just walk in the door still.
Of course not. That'd be too easy.
Yes. Now, most of the time people have to get through with this test of goodness, I guess. Gracious, I don't know, something. They gotta get through with, a purity check, we'll say. And, obviously, that would have never worked for me. So they made a little bit of a backdoor. Well, you could call it that. It's more of a... And you're walking and running the entire time that this is happening. You're still, like, at a fast pace moving to this little house that you see, this little hut, and you're headed toward the front door. And as he's talking and says, it's not really that, obviously, a back door. It's more of a trap door. And as he says trap, the ground beneath you just vanishes. You are free falling at a height that you had never expected. It just is dark down here. Of course, your head, your hands, your body is causing a glow on the cavern walls around you as you fall down, but it doesn't light up more than 10 feet below you until suddenly you hit the ground. You take no bludgeoning damage. It hurts, but you stand up and know that it's almost as if there was a lot of magic in play there. You look around and light up your hand without even thinking of it. As a flame bursts open, the cavern walls glow a good bit more than they had with just your head and skin. You are in a giant, empty cavern. Your breaths echo in the cavern. As you look around, you realize that your breath is getting mixed in with that of another. Are you ready?
Looks like we're not alone.
And now we're gonna go back to Jax and the rest of the group. All of you. Yep.
Just so you know, I used a cure wounds on myself, and then Delilah used one on herself as well just now.
Okay.
Just so you know.
Okay. You guys continue to run, and at the pace that you're moving, it takes about a minute or so, but you will also see this little shack, almost, at the base of where the clouds are, and where the mountains meet them. You guys run up to the mountain, and Lord Eowyn, sort of leading this charge, says, or sorry, he doesn't say anything. He just keeps on running as if there's nothing to worry about. With everybody's passive perception, you guys don't notice anything. You guys don't notice anything's on the ground, but you guys run up and you make your way up to that front door. Lord Eowyn quickly pounds on the door. Hello? Is there anyone inside? We need to get to the top of this mountain. Hello? Anyone?
I'm coming. I'm coming.
You guys hear, like, a number of, like, 5 to 10 locks, something. You just hear a whole bunch of locks just being opened.
Hello. Right. You come to the right place. This is how you get to the top of the mountain. But only one of you can take the test. I need the most pure out of you, the most righteous, but someone who is hurting. So, do we have any volunteers?
Tristan raises his hand and says, I think the paladin is the most righteous, right?
Just throw me under the bus.
Yeah.
No, Jax steps forward.
Alright. Are you sure you wish to be the delegate for all of you?
Yes.
Okay. Come in.
She starts walking in, and I probably should have mentioned, as the door opened, it was this small, very old gnome. She stands at about 1.5 feet high. She's wearing some simple clothing, tattered garments almost, but you can tell that she's been up here for quite some time. But she looks healthy enough. She's alive and fed and doesn't look to be starving or weak or anything.
So, please have a seat at the kitchen table. Would you like tea?
Alright. Sure.
Okay. What makes you think that you can be the delegate?
Honestly, I don't know. I believe I'm good. I think I'm worthy, but
Yes.
I don't know. I just know that I'm willing to put myself on the line to get where we need to go and help my friend.
I could sense great goodness from that winged one, too.
Yes, she's very good.
So why you?
We said we had to be hurting as well. I don't know.
Why are you hurting?
Where to begin. I lost the love of my life not too long ago. and now a great friend is in grave danger to himself and others.
Is that why you wish to get to the top of the mountain?
It is.
Then we shall perform the test with you. Whenever you're ready.
She finally walks over with what she's been cooking on the stove.
Take a sip of that.
She hands you a cup of tea, which seems to be very hot, but it could just be the frosty air up here as it evaporates very clearly in front of your face. It looks like normal tea, but her leading seems to make you think that it's not.
I will raise it to my lips and take a sip.
Right. Now,
She climbs up on to the table in front of you, and you're sitting in this small little chair, which is made for a gnome, but all of this is made for a gnome. And the house itself is normal size, but all the furniture inside is smaller. And she stands on top of this table, and she's standing now at face height as you're kneeling down, squatting in a very small chair.
now take my hands.
I take her hands.
Are you ready?
Yep.
Yes,
And her voice just keeps on getting higher pitched almost as she's chanting these almost nonsensical words. It gets so high pitched that as she's talking, it just blends into this high pitched screech almost, and this screech just gets higher and higher, but doesn't get louder until this point where just this deafening almost screech just emanates out of nowhere, and it continues in your head as you wince your eyes as tight as you possibly can, and slowly you open up your eyes, you hold your ears, you let go of her hands, and you're looking around, and it slowly fades as if you've just gotten hit really hard in the head like a concussion. It's that really bright noise that just fades, and you look around, and you're in the open market, covered with sand on the floor, with the wind blowing many fabric pieces over some of the tents, many fabric awnings and clothes. You're looking around, this harsh wind is blowing this cool air on this otherwise radiating heat land that you're in. It looks very familiar. It looks like a market in Mirage.
God damn it.
It's full. It's the middle of the daytime. Around you are all sorts of people. Many dragonborns. Many. Many humans, too. None of them seem to pay you any mind. And it does appear as though you just teleported there, so far as you know. But no one's looking at you.
Strange. Try to approach somebody.
Okay. Who do you approach?
Just anybody walking by. I just kind of try and stop them and speak with them.
Okay. The first person that begins to walk by you is a man, it would appear, middle-aged human, a rather large gut, and he's just walking by, and you stop him with your hand.
Yeah.
Can I help you, sir?
Am I Mirage?
Yes, you are. How could you have gotten here if you did not know where you are, even with the teleportation magic? You must know, but Yes, this is Mirage. You are in the bazaar here, and yes, they have many fine wares. So go enjoy yourself. I need to get going now.
Thank you. Jax just kind of like mumbles to himself, "Why am I sent here? Why am I not at the top of the mountain? What's going on?"
This is your test.
It startles you almost down to your left-hand side. There is the small gnome woman, who is just there, just looking up at you.
This is Mirage. You are here. This is real.
And what am I doing here?
Do you see anything?
Let's see,
Go ahead and
plenty
make
of
a
people.
perception check.
I think it's 15.
You see an old man who, not old man, sorry, but like, upper middle-aged, who you recognize from your past, not too long ago. Wearing a crown of gold, he recognizes this as the Jarl, Noten the Grog, who is the Jarl of Mirage. And with him, standing at one of the shops out in the open, is a young dragonborn.
Do I recognize this dragonborn?
Very similar colors to you. You could make a guess, but you've never seen.
Yeah, I know. I approach them.
They have their backs to you right now. They're talking to one of the shop owners. And they don't notice as you get within 5 feet of them.
Yeah, I'll just be like, Sir Noten.
He turns around. His face looks speechless, surprised, very surprised. He goes wide-eyed and, Jax. Right. He lets out sort of a chuckle smile, but seems very insincere and almost sad. Nice to see you here. And there, the young dragonborn turns around and looks up at you. Then looks at the Jarl. They're both sort of speechless.
I'm speechless as well. I was sent here by a little gnome and was told I had some sort of test.
As you say
I don't
little
know.
gnome, you look down to your left-hand side to show them the young, or not young, the tiny gnome woman,
I keep
who is no
forgetting
longer
she's
there.
next to me. Okay.
Yeah. But, that seems a little different.
Dad, who's this?
Says
What?
the young dragonborn. This is, old friend of your mother's and mine, says the Jarl.
son. It's a dragonborn.
Jax, I've been meaning to tell you it was certainly not the right time. Rain loved you, but when she left, she didn't know what happened, and she was alone for a long time with him. And we fell in love.
Jax's heart breaks a little.
I knew that telling you the day of her passing was not what she wanted, not what you wanted, and not what I was expecting to happen today.
It's a shock, but I do understand, and I appreciate you looking out for them and filling in that role. I wish things were different, but I didn't know what happened after that day either, and wasn't ready to come back and face what I thought had happened.
Yes. There was so much that had to be faced that day. I don't blame you. So, I appreciate you being so understanding about everything. I know Rain would be happy to see that this was the outcome. I hope you're understanding that when you found out, everything was so civil.
And I don't really have a right to get mad. I could have turned around and came back after everything, but I chose not to.
Once again, the whistle begins to come up in your ear as you're saying that. And once again, it's this high-pitched screeching in your ear, which just makes you wince, close your eyes, and once again you open them and you're gone from there.
What the hell?
Before we get to where you are next, we go back to Zash. Let me switch over the music. Nope, not what I wanted. Okay. Zash, as you're looking around and hearing the around you, sorry, you see there, getting up from lying on his side, standing tall above you in this cavern, and now walking. And coming up close to look at you is a cloud giant. He speaks this strange dialect which you've never heard. He once again moves his head back and begins moving closer to you, as standing tall once again. And without even thinking of anything, you watch as your hand just begins moving throughout the air, doing all sorts of signs in the air itself. You see this glow of symbols moving about. And you watch as in the blink of an eye. Where is it? Oh, I hate that this thing is so slow. Sorry, real quick. There we go. Alright, the music is so eventful and yet nothing's happening. Alright.
Is something supposed to be happening?
Yeah, sorry.
Okay.
You watch as your hand moves about and makes this sort of incantation without even any words being spoken. In front of you, you just see this strange symbol that begins to glow, and then your hand finally releasing a final open palm push against the symbol as it flies in the air and moves right toward the cloud giant. As all of a sudden it hits the giant, he steps back for just a second until this giant beam of radiant light shines almost moving through the cavern above, pierces through the frost giant as he screams out in pain. I want you to go ahead and make a initiative roll.
Natural 1 or 3.
All right. 3 it is then. All right. So the cloud giant then, screaming out in pain about, I want to say, pushed back to 30 feet away from you. Oh, and you have the corgis with you too. He's gonna begin to move forward toward you. He's going to make multi-attack and come at you with, he pulls out of his sort of back, sling that's attached to his back as he runs forward and charges. This hulking being takes a morning star out from behind his back and comes slamming it down. Yeah, that's 30 to hit.
Uh-huh.
You take 21 points of piercing damage, but that's going to be halved to 11. As he comes swinging it down, you see this shield of eminent energy just sort of envelop you, taking a good bit of that blow away from what was coming at you. He's going to swing once again for 28 to hit. That one is going to be... I'm just going to roll this one instead of constantly taking the recommended amount. That's good. Yeah, that's really good. 16 reduced to 8 piercing damage. As once again that blow just moves through. Next up, it is your turn.
Okay. Zash just starts laughing at this guy.
All
Just like... You think you're actually hurting me? You can't hurt me. And he's bleeding as he says this, but do I, just as a point of reference, do I have my spells back?
Yes. We will say that you
Okay,
do.
because I was down some stuff before we started, but
Yeah, you feel a bit of a weird adrenaline surge as all this is going on. Which seems a bit meta, I know, but there is something else going on. So yes, you do.
okay. Cool. And yeah, after he taunts him, he's going to cast Fireball.
Okay, go ahead and make the attack roll of that.
It's a dex save.
Dexterity save, got it.
If I remember correctly, giants are not very dexterous.
12.
Fail.
All right. What
That's what I
happens
was
to
hoping
him?
for. 8d6. Good grief. What just happened? Oh, that's some good stuff there. All right. 16, 20, 35 damage.
35 damage. Wow, that's pretty good.
Yeah. 2 6s, 3 5s. Yeah.
Where did I just put that D8? I need that. And with that, the giant's looking pretty roughed up. Sorta. Oh, wow. 41 plus the sunbeam.
What?
That was earlier. Sorry.
Oh.
Okay. And then after you do that bit, and the giant looks like he's burnt on half of him. Looks like he is burning on the other half of him. Without even thinking, once again, your body begins to sort of step forward, sort of glide forward almost. Without trying to do any of this, you hold out your hand, a finger touches one of the legs of the giant, who then takes 61 points necrotic damage.
Jeez.
And next it's the giant's turn. Ah! Taking all this pain, all this damage. is
Do the
going
puppies
to-
not fight?
Oh, good point. Yeah, go ahead and roll an initiative for them.
I mean, I did earlier, but I figured they were supposed to go with me since you.
No, they'll always have their own.
Oh, okay. It was 21, unless you want me to do it again.
All right, go ahead and make an attack for them then, because yeah, okay. Go ahead and make an attack for them.
Okay. I'm going to have them do. Multi-attack bite on the giant. Like, just nip at its feet, probably, with how big this thing is. They can do 3 attacks. 23.
Okay.
21. and 14.
Yeah, they all hit.
Oh wow! All right. 1d4 and 2d6. All right. First bite is. I'll split this up with the fire damage. 4 regular damage and. God, the 6s always throw me off. 9 fire damage.
So 13 damage?
Yeah. Do you want it together?
Yeah. There's no
Okay.
resistances.
Okay. Second bite is 11. Sorry. Yeah. Okay. Math is hard. It's Monday.
Second one is
And
11?
third. Yes. Second one is 11.
Okay.
And third one is 14.
11 and 14 is 25.
Almost
Got it.
max.
As these 3 attacks hit the giant, he screams out in pain, but looks very, very angry. He is going to take 2 more attacks against you with the Morning Star. Just gonna try and keep on smashing down on you as all this is happening. Yeah, that's 18.
Yep.
Okay. And second, well, yeah, that one, 28. All right. So first one. Oh, that was almost really bad. I rolled 3d8. It was 6, 6, 5. All right. 17 plus 8 is 25 piercing damage, reduced to half, which is 13 points of piercing damage.
And after that first one, Zash is gonna react with Hellish Rebuke,
Okay.
just to see if I can take him out before the second hit.
Yeah.
So another dex save.
Okay. 18.
That saves. So it'll be 2d10. I guess I'll do 4d10 halved.
Yeah, you do 4d10, the total of 4d10, and then have it.
Yeah. Not terrible. 10, 18, 19. So 28 halved. Or sorry, 28 halve that. That's what I mean.
Okay. I was
So
gonna
14?
say, I was really surprised. I was like, what? So 14. All right. He's looking rough. So as he comes up and attacks you with the first one, he smashes down on you with this giant warning star. As it hits the shield around your body, you watch as he moves it up and away, coming up for a second swing. A smirk comes across your face as you jab onto one of his legs. He comes falling down, dropping off that leg, kneeling now in front of you. He comes up trying to swing once more, which he already hit, but that is going to be 1, 3 for a total of 4 plus 8, 12 piercing damage, halved to 6. As he comes up and jabs that second one into you, but he is falling over as we speak, and now it is your turn.
You said he's a cloud giant, right?
Yep.
Okay. At first I thought you said clown, and I assumed that was wrong. But my joke wouldn't work if he's a clown dragon or clown giant. So Zash laughs again and says, "Man, Cloud, you sure look like a stiff wind could blow you over." And shoots just a level 1 thing of magic missiles, I think. What was that, just 3 magic missiles?
Yeah.
1 use? Yeah.
1d4 each.
So we're gonna do... 11 damage total.
That was exactly it. All right,
Beautiful.
describe to me the kill.
All right. So, like, just kind of like maniacally laughing, he just shoots the. This is the second big thing I've killed with magic missile. Anyway, he shoots the three missiles, and they each kind of just like puncture through different parts of the giant, and the last one goes right through his skull. And then Zash just kind of laughs and blows on the giant a little bit, knocks him over.
You watch as this giant topples over, his arm bouncing twice as his body just sits there and all the dust flies up as it is displaced by his humongous figure. Ha 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 ha. Oh, they made it too easy. Are you ready?
Yeah, for what?
Don't you know that this being the backdoor test means that the back door is right there? And as he says there, one of the walls of this cavern just almost completely vanishes, and it opens up to look at the top of a cloudscape almost. In front of you, there are humongous gates with iron railings made of gold that there we go, with gold railings. That's what I was looking for. With gold railings and silver gates all around the side, and the doors themselves made of gold. It is sort of a very angelic scene. As you look beyond these gates, you can see what appears to be almost a city, thriving, flying, with buildings that are beyond anything you've seen, looking so almost futuristic even, but also very ancient. They look like they're made of glass and gold and silver, and only those. There are people flying up around, left and right, darting through the air, but nobody is looking at this gate, except for you. On the other side of the gate, the side that you're standing on, there's absolutely nothing. Nothing but clouds, and the transition from the dark cavern that you were in leading to the clouds is almost seamless, but it looks like you're going to be stepping on nothing if you walk out to it. But without even thinking about it, your body begins to walk, run even, toward this gate. You quickly run, and the footsteps of your feet on this gravel and dirt and earth quickly change to footsteps walking on clouds. You are up in the high city, and as you walk up to that gate, finally, the attention of someone is gotten. This angelic being flies forward, and with wings outspread, it seems as though they almost serve no purpose. They're just gliding through the air with their wings outward, and this angelic creature just plots itself down in front of you and looks at you, up and down. The amulet that you're wearing is hidden beneath your clothing. You know deep inside that all you would have to do is show this and she would let you in. But you're so stunned, awestruck by the presence of this beautiful, angelic woman that you don't think to do that. But the gates begin to open. You're sort of curious as to why that just happened, and then you look down and realize that you had shown the amulet. But again, you didn't have the control to do so. You weren't aware that was happening. And you begin to walk forward. And you are in the city of the Valkyrie. We're going to go ahead and move over now to Tristan. Tristan, you are sitting down with the Lord Aowen. You are sitting with all the others, and Zash, your delegate, as the woman called him, has been gone for quite some time. Without hearing...
Jax. Not Zash, Jax.
Yeah, sorry.
Yeah.
I thought I said Jax. No, I did say Jax.
You said Zash.
Yeah, he says Zash.
It's fine.
Huh. Okay. Yeah. I swear that time I actually was thinking Jax. Sometimes I just get them confused, but that time I could have sworn I said it, but I apologize anyway. Jax, your delegate, is not there. Lord Aowen begins to say, alright, he must have... How long is it that this test is going to take? I mean, it can't be too long, right? Can we peek inside? Can we take a look? Would anybody be willing to break down the door? Oh. No.
Tristan's just playing with his cards, and he just looks up and... I don't think it's a good idea to barge into the ritual. Who knows what may happen.
At this pace, though, we'll never catch up to the one that they call Zash. We need to do something. At just that point, the door once again opens and the little lady walks out.
Okay. I know that you all are waiting on your friend. You there.
The old lady points to Tristan.
Tristan says, yes ma'am, and he stands up, puts his cards back.
Look at you, such a nice young boy. Come, have some tea.
I really think, ma'am, it'd be nice if we could learn how long it will be.
Time and patience. The two are often very good friends when hand in hand, yes?
I just think that it'd be good if we knew at least the time at which we'd be able to...
Oh, no, you will. It will happen when it will happen, but for now, we rest. We have tea. Everything will work out, trust me.
Yes, but ma'am, I think that it'd just be alright if we...
Hurry up, Tristan.
Okay. Tristan, as he's entering the shack, he looks back and, sorry, boss. And just...
Yes.
Yeah.
The door quickly slams, one would assume, from the efforts of the old lady. Tristan, you never told her your name.
Oh, yeah.
But she called you Tristan.
So, how's your trip been?
Well, we just killed a dragon, so I would say it's going really good.
Depending on who you asked. I would say that if you asked the dragon, it wouldn't be such the same response, now would it?
I guess you're right.
Yes. The dragon, of course, was there to guard and protect and keep the peace between the two realms. And you guys had no other choice but to go between the plains, the no man's land, as it were.
Tristan, is he sitting down on the tiny bench?
Yeah, it's very similar. Once again, she's already cooking the tea. Once again, you're sitting in this very small chair, over-hunched almost, as your head is almost hitting the hanging light fixture, which comes all the way down from the ceiling of this normal-sized hut.
Okay, so Tristan leans forward and asks, "Ma'am, did you know the dragon?"
Uh, one would say so. I knew his father more. But everything has a time. And I don't hold it against any of you. But I need to know something.
Yeah, yes, ma'am.
So polite, such a polite young man. But your history is not full of politeness, is it?
How do you know that?
I know lots. People like me often get asked very similar things. How is it that we know things that we shouldn't? When in reality, it's just that we are very perceptive. We look where others don't. We see what others don't dare see. And even though I'm up here, far away from the rest of the world, there are still things that I hear about high up on this mountain. Have you ever lived in isolation for very long, Tristan?
Yes, ma'am.
Then you would know that sometimes without the company your mind goes a little bit crazy. Sometimes, though, it's good to find yourself when you're alone, to find who you truly are, what you're really doing. If you're out here working for a lord, that's one thing, but when you have a destiny that is so much more, then sometimes you need a little push.
As she nudges now the glass of tea over toward you.
Into the direction that you're heading.
Tristan picks the cup with his right hand while he clutches his necklace, his pendant with his left, and bottoms up,
Yes.
drinks a tea.
Now. Alright. Go on. Go back to your card game.
Oh, is that it? Is that all?
Yes.
Oh, okay.
Sometimes things don't come to us when we expect it. But you have to look for the information in the world around you. There?
Thank you, ma'am. I'm gonna think about that.
Good.
As he slowly rises up from the chair.
And tell your boss to not be so impatient.
I'll try, ma'am, but he's the one that pays the bills.
Yeah. For now. Alright.
Ah, finally. Any idea about the time?
Nope, no idea at all.
As she slams the door now with you on the other side of it. Ah, was that very fruitful? Did you see, Jackson there anywhere?
Well, now that you say that, no, it was just me and her. Strange. She gave me tea.
Right. Go back to playing cards. If nothing happens soon, I will let you know when we make a break for the entrance ourselves and walk around this little hut, which blocks the now narrowed passageway We could climb up those rocks if we need to, but we'll give him a little bit more time.
At your command, boss.
Yes. Alright, and now we go back to Brandon. To Jack. Once again, your eyes open up. Once again, the ringing comes to a bit of a stop. And there, you're in sort of a lowly lit room. It's cold. It's dark. This is a very familiar room, though. You've been here. This is the room where you were not often allowed, but it was the study of your old mentor and teacher.
Oh, shit.
You can picture his face as if it were right in front of you, but you don't see him. You could smell in the air the smell that would often accompany him, which was notable. It was like mothballs and mung beans, but he was a wise old elf. What were you gonna say?
I was just gonna, like, kind of mumble again, hoping that the little old gnome lady hears me again. And just be like, what am I doing back here now?
There's
Little
no
old gnome
response.
lady.
You look down to your left, nothing. You look down to your right just to double check and look behind you, nothing.
Okay.
Off in the distance, you hear a very deep breaths, very labored. You could tell that's coming from beyond the door, and then maybe somewhere from down the hall.
I walk out the room.
You open up the first one, and you're in an L-shaped hallway at the bottom corner of it. The hallway extends out in front of you, and it also extends out to your right. The breath is coming from the right.
Okay, I head to the right.
There's a door
Cautiously.
at the end of it.
I knock on the door.
But there's no response aside from that.
I crack open the door and peek my head in.
There, you see your old teacher, Fyron Eldris. He's old in age. Maybe 150 for an elf. Which I'm pretty sure is near the end of their lifespan. He's near the end of the lifespan for an elf, but his lips are black. There's these black veins, almost, or tendrils, that extend out of his mouth and encompass around his face and neck. More tendrils that move singularly down through his neck into his chest, which is covered up with clothing, and his body is covered up with blankets, but his hands up over also have less of tendrils and more of just the veins themselves, with this black, dark, rising hue to them.
I run to his side and kneel next to the bed. Fyron, what happened? Is there anything that I can do to help you?
Looks like he's trying to speak, but he just can't.
Shit. I wish I had another one of those sending stones. Is there paper and some kind of writing utensil nearby?
Go ahead and make a perception check.
16.
You look around in the room, you see there is a number of books. You don't see any writing utensils around though.
God damn it.
The room is littered almost with like dirt, garbage. One would assume that he's been lying in this bed for a while. Sick, probably.
Is there like a glass of water or anything nearby that I can give him to kind of...
A number.
Okay,
There are glasses.
okay, I bring him a glass of water.
I can do this. Jax. Watch out. He's coming for you. All of you.
He's coming for me.
Just know. You watch as the life fades out of him.
No. Jax just kind of like takes his mentor's hands into his and kneels next to the bed, head kind of like bowing. And I'll say a little prayer to the Lord of Light. Then reach up and close his mentor's eyes, light an incense. Thank you for everything you've done. Thank you for your teachings, and thank you for taking me in. Could never repay you. I hope you're in a better place. Always keep your blade by my side. That's helped me along my journey. I hope it continues to do so.
When you're ready.
This startles you. Down to your side. To your left-hand side is the little gnomish woman now.
There's one more thing. This one will be your... well... it's not so much of a test as it is just to see. Are you ready?
I take one more look at my mentor, turn back to the gnome, and nod in agreement, yes.
Alright.
And now it seems as though it's a little bit different. She's casting something sort of different. But once again, the high-pitched tone goes into a high-pitched ringing. Then the high-pitched ringing bursts through your ears and you wince a bit less so than normal. And you finally open up your eyes and there you are, standing in a giant hellscape on Valkyrie.
Oh shit.
You are in the Citadel. Buildings pummeled to dust. People dead in the streets. To your left is Zash in elegant mage's robes.
What?
Dead on the ground.
What?
To your right is Mira,
No.
looking badass in these black, looking like a true assassin, dead on the ground.
No.
Just beyond her is Delilah, pinned up against the wall with spears through her chest and through her wings.
My God.
Dead. And there in front of you, someone who you've never seen. But standing tall over everything is a mage who holds out his hand. This is it. As he holds out his hand and releases this powerful surge of energy, you see this red glow emanate, creating this red circle in front of him, and the skies light up even further. The clouds open, and you see these meteors beginning to hit these buildings, the few of them which stand, breaking down the wall. And right above you is this one meteor coming down towards you, much larger than the rest, moving much slower than the rest of them. And you just look at him, and he looks at you smiling, smirking. Ha ha ha.
Son of a bitch.
Do you do anything?
Can I do anything? I don't know. Yeah, I fucking pull out my sword, whisper Badger. I'm gonna charge that fucking mage motherfucker. I'm going out with a bang.
You pull out your sword and realize as though it's almost been etched in would look like diamonds or something. It looks as pristine as it's never been. It looks fierce, and as you're looking at it, looking at your own hands, your hands are old. Aged, middle-aged almost, but the scales are starting to wrinkle almost. And then you look at your armor. It's elegant. It's powerful. And you look up at him. You begin to charge with Badger as it drips down, but it's different from the normal times that you say Badger, because with each and every drip, it immediately does more. Whereas it used to, the acid used to sizzle through something, whenever this hits it, it hits it explosively, like a bit of oil is hitting fire. This acid crackles on the ground as it hits it, and as you run, it's spraying out of the sword, and droplets are exploding around you, and you run towards him. You jump up into the air, and as the meteor is coming down from beyond the two of you, as you two are about to meet in the air, a smirk comes over his face as he jabs you right in the chest with two of the blades. He pushes you down to the ground as he flies down, and he says, "You should have never tried to face Kovrik." And he turns them more as blood begins to spill out of you, and you feel your life fading from before your eyes as slowly they go dark, as slowly this fade of a ringing begins to once again arrive. And then, once again, it becomes too much, and you want to wince, but you can't. You can't feel your face, you can't move. There's just this high-pitched ringing in darkness.
So I'm nowhere. I'm just in darkness right now.
Pretty much. So we go back to Tristan now.
It is time. You all can go now. You are free to move up the mountain. Your delegate has passed his tests.
Where is he then?
You can go.
What? We're not moving without him. He's the one who helped get us up here in the first place, said Lord Awen.
Please, just head up to the top of the mountain. You do need to catch that other one after all.
Tristan walks up to him and puts his hand on his shoulder and says, "Boss, I think we should trust her. Let's just go. We probably will. He can probably catch up to us."
Yes. All right. Men, let's move out. And they all begin to head up to the top of the mountain. Just a few feet beyond this building. And as you guys prepare to walk around the outside of it, it looked as though at the beginning there was no room around the outside. Now, the house itself is beginning to shrink almost to that of the house of a gnome. No longer taking up the entire path of the walkway. You guys are able to walk around the outside of it. And you see where the clouds meet the mountain. You guys begin to step up through, and it's like a cool breeze of mist in your face as you walk up into the cloud. But you're just climbing up a mountain, walking alongside cloud. Nothing really seems to happen. And Tristan, do us a favor, go and make a dexterity check.
Oh yeah. Okay. 19.
19. You walk up the hill of this mountain. It begins to get so steep that you have to use your hands at points. But as you're walking through this mist, you go to take another step upward, and your step doesn't go up anymore. It just flat along the ground. Watch your step, everyone, says Lord Aowen as he had just pulled the same move. You guys begin to walk forward now, and the mist clears from your face. There. You guys see the gates of Valkyrie. There. You guys see Zash walking through. Or no, actually, at this point in time, you guys would not have seen Zash. Never mind, sorry. You guys just see the gates. You guys see all the Valkyrie flying up and about. And you guys begin to walk forward toward the gates. As they do this, Brandon, the darkness around you slowly begins to form to this dark gray, then to a light gray, then to a dark white, then to white. And you open up your eyes almost, well, you realize that your eyes are open, It's weird. It's like you open them, but they were open all along, and you move up your head and you can see that you were resting down with clouds flying over your head. And as you begin to stand tall, you realize that you're standing by the gates and you see all of them there. All on the outside. But you are inside.
Oh shit. Yeah, I get to my feet and I walk closer to them as close as I can get. Kind of like wave them down, showing them that I'm here.
Oh, thank God. How did you get up there? Says Lord Awen. How did you get on the other side?
I don't know how I got anywhere I was. Assuming some sort of teleportation. I don't know.
Right. Are you alright? How did it go? What did she have you do?
He kind of like looks at himself, making sure he's intact. Yeah, I'm alright. I just had to go face my past, I guess you could say. Sort of.
Right. Do you know how to let us in?
I have no idea how to let you in. I try like pushing on the gate.
Alright. As you try pushing, 3 Valkyrie begin to glide their way down. Delilah is like crying seeing you there. She was very, very worried, and I'm trying to keep in mind all the NPCs and stuff like that, but she was very worried the entire time. Her and Mira were quite adamant that Lord Awen not walk up so quickly, but Tristan's word helped guide them a little bit. But Delilah's just bawling right now, pretty much. Not just you, but especially you, but also the Valkyrie that are gliding down toward her in the gate, and just everything around her. It's overwhelming her emotionally. The gates, these giant golden arches, just begin to open up as one Valkyrie opens them, and 2 of them, wearing these Valkyrian helmets made of gold and armor made of gold, are sort of protecting her.
Welcome to the land of the Valkyrie. It's good to finally have visitors. Your friend has already made it. Come this way.
That guy is not our friend, but I do not want to get into that right now, because I've been trying my damnedest to get here every single day of my life. I have so many questions.
And many will be answered in your time here. But please follow our instructions and be careful. Yes?
Of course. Everyone hear that? You all follow their instructions, and by extension mine.
Come. We are just about to begin the process.
Very well. He looks at Grendel, and both them shrug at each other with a confused expression on their face. But they all begin to walk in that direction, and again, assume that everyone who's under Lord Awen's employ follows, and then assuming that other people follow because of that. Jax and Tristan, and I will say Delilah and I'll do Mira. Is there anything that any of them want to do?
Jax is just gonna stay quiet for now and just follow along.
Tristan's just looking amazed at everything. Oh, sorry.
No, you're fine. Delilah's also looking amazed at everything.
As you guys walk, you see these pillars of buildings, which Zash has already seen some of. These overarching buildings made of gold up along the sides and mirrored glass planing each one of them, which reflect off only the sky and the clouds to make it look like they disappear into the horizon, but as you get closer you can see their reflection off of them. You see people flying up and about through the heavens, but it's not quite exactly what you pictured. In all the writings and all the pictures and everything that you've seen, Valkyrie are angelic like they are here. They're beautiful, they're winged, but they're almost pure, almost, well, of course, holy. It was that first picture that you guys saw in that book, or at least Mira did, where the Valkyrie were portrayed as anything different than that image, which was as warriors, which was as fighters. Not necessarily bloodthirsty, but ravaged by war. As you guys are walking, you see these angelic beings with faces of almost despair. Many of them armored to the teeth with weapons and gold chainmail and breastplates and gauntlets and helmets. Some of them are just flying around unarmored, but most are young children, some women. Almost every single man that you see here, in fact every single man that you see here, looks like he's ready for war, and has been for quite some time.
So, I take it that you all have many questions. How about
you? As she is saying all this, she's floating with her back to you guys, but then she begins to turn around, continues floating, and looks down at Jax as you're all walking.
Why would there be a dragon protecting the people from you?
Long ago, far before you were born, we Valkyrie were trapped up here by what you call your gods. Some of them even being the parents of your gods. We Valkyrie came to this plane of existence, came to this land, only to escape and try our best to flee from this war that ravaged us. But your people, they saw us fighting, they saw us flying, they took us as angels and gods ourselves. And the gods did not like that. They said that we did not have the knowledge that it took to properly influence your developing societies. They trapped us on a separate plane, giving us all the skies and all the rest of the domain just so long as Valkyrie itself remained for the humans and the other races. So we were not to set foot. Descendants of dragons were set up to guard each mountain entrance to the world of the Valkyrie and protect against ill influence.
And what's within Zash's amulet? Why did it drive him here?
That was a soldier of the war. A prisoner that we took. We have a very just society, and we sentenced him to the 10,000 years of solitude and being a prisoner. The best we could do was make it inside that amulet, so we created that. We trapped him inside, and as time grew closer to his parting date, he became more determined to get up there. It is now time that he be released and go back to his side of the war.
Was his name Kovric?
No. I do not know Kovric.
Who were you fighting in this war?
Fiends of all shapes and sizes, but this one very dark soul in particular. When the gods trapped us up here, they trapped him down there. Far down. But now he's been released. Now, the Guardian, protecting against the Valkyrie from taking part in this battlefield, is gone. It is soon that we will finally get the battle that we've all been preparing for so very long. We've been preparing. We've been ready to take them out, and don't worry, because goodness will prevail. Because those fiends will all go down, and we will make them suffer and pay for all that they did before we were trapped away up here. You will be safe. All of you who make it will be safe.
Make it? Make it through what?
The war. The war, when the gods trapped us up here, was halted in the middle of its climax. It will resume. For the Demogorgon has risen. For his servants fight for him. And we have been preparing our fight ourselves. The gods will not help. Not us, not you. It is going to happen, and soon.
You cut out right there.
Did I? Can you hear me? Hello?
You're still cutting a little bit. Hello?
Can you hear me? Hello?
Yeah.
Okay. The gods will not help us, not us, not you. but we will take care of it.
You cut out again. It was right after you said the gods won't help them or us.
Hello? Hello? Testing. Testing. 1, 2, 3. Testing. Testing. 1, 2, 3.
I can hear you.
You can?
Yeah.
Brandon, Justin, can you guys hear me?
Yep.
Can now.
Okay, you can now? Alright, yeah, it's back. Well. Okay, so this is starting to go. I am going to probably bring it then within the next 10-15 minutes. So, yeah, they say that. The gods will not help us, not us, not you.
We sort of had a run-in with the Demogorgon. I wanted to stay and fight it, but
You fled it.
I was forced to.
Then that means that the Demogorgon knows you. The Demogorgon does not like it when anything escapes it. He might be looking for you. Nonetheless, we are here as you guys finally approach. 3 Valkyrie standing next to Zash with fire burning from his head and eyes. He seems rather calm, but his exterior would seem to say otherwise. Are you ready to begin the process, young Genasi?
Ready as I'll ever be, I guess.
Ha 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 ha! Yes, exactly. Never been more ready. As this second voice takes over Zash's control for just a moment after he says that. Very well. You guys watch as the one Valkyrie holds out her hand, and then other Valkyrie begin to all hold out their hand in the circle as the total of the 6 of them who stand around Zash now, as wind begins to swirl up around you. Leaves appear out of nowhere and just begin to get swept up in this. The smoke of the cloud itself gets swirled up into this, and it begins to travel up through the air. The Valkyrie begin to levitate up into the air and move up slowly. As hesitating a moment, you guys watch as Zash also begins to do the same. You guys see his body through bits of smoke as it swirls, through bits of clear sections as everything is moving around them, moving around the Valkyrie, who then begin to spread outward and move out into sort of a perfect circle, but where Zash is not in the center of. He's more so located on one side, and you guys watch as Zash teleports to the other side, and then teleports back. You guys watch him moving back and forth, and you guys sort of see this stream of Zash's form as the teleports become faster and faster until the point where it's so fast that you see no string between them. You see no blink of his existence. He is now in 2 points at once. And then you guys watch as the one figure on the left where he was not originally flying up from, that figure begins to turn darker and darker and darker. And you guys watch as Zash's own figure becomes slightly lighter, brighter almost, brighter. And you guys see these 2 forms begin to form into 2 completely separate entities, where Zash looks like a better version of himself, a freer version of himself, a version which has a huge weight lifted off his shoulders, and the other one is this black smoke pouring down from the height that they've flown up to. You guys watch this waterfall of black smoke begin to fall onto the cloud itself and sort of turn the cloud into a storm cloud in just that section. And then it begins to emanate. That storm cloud goes larger and larger. It goes to about a span of 20 feet in diameter as it flows down, this darkness constantly draining down. And there you guys see the full figure of the fiend. Ha 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 ha! Oh, it's so good to be free. They slowly begin to fall back down to the plain. They all land on their feet, and the wind slowly dies down. Zash, this huge weight is lifted off you. Your soul almost becomes lighter in this instant. The hatred, pure hatred that you felt for Jax, there we go, a couple of hours before, disappears. You almost have a more positive outlook on things than you did before even being encompassed by this soul. It's not that you're just free of this darkness, but you're slightly lighter.
Do I lose the boost that the amulet gave me, though?
You do.
Okay.
That is officially gone.
Okay.
Your constitution goes back to what it was beforehand. Ha 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 ha. It cracks its neck to the side and begins to move toward you guys. A lot of you. Delilah screeches and hides back behind Jax. She's still holding you tight. She has like ever since you guys got back together. But ever since the group reformed. She sort of hides behind you as he begins to move up to you guys. A pleasure to finally meet you all in person. He holds out his hand, and this black smoke formed figure, you still can't see exactly what his face is. You still can't see exactly what he is, but you just see this evil presence. Well, aren't you going to shake my hand, Jax?
Jax draws his sword.
Oh, come now. Can't we be friends? Ha 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 ha. So, Zash, give any thought to that offer I proposed to you? Still learning from my mastery, even though we've been separated.
Yeah. He looks at his friends and then looks at whatever this thing is. And then at the shattered amulet. That's just kind of like...
The amulet is still there. It sort of has a... It's still around your neck. It's not fused to your skin. It's not
right.
shattered.
I figured it was some kind of broken. Like, it was still there, but it was just kind of like limp.
Gotcha.
And it just feels that emptiness, and almost like the weakness that has kind of it's still left a mark there.
Yeah.
Like it's taken its strength with it, and just it makes it feel like almost like just a reminder of who he was before.
Yeah.
I don't know yet.
Ha 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 ha. We could be great, you know. We could do such evil. Ha ha ha. And good. Mostly for us. But we could form that world down there. It's whatever you want. And as he says that, the darkened bit of cloud that he's standing on top of parts for just a second, and you see the world of Valkyrie down beneath your feet. You really are up in the heavens, and there really is no ground beneath you. You see straight down to the peninsula that goes off into the Sea of Consciousness. You can see the walls of the capital from up here, but you can't make out anything more about it than just the walls. Those overarching 300-foot high marvels of building. You see the other small groups of clusters of what appears to be society and buildings. And then the clouds once again close up. We can form it to whatever we wanted. But you have to choose now.
What if I don't want either choice?
Oh? The choices are either I'm in your life as your friend or I'm in your life as your enemy. That is it. I don't do middle grounds.
Well, sounds like I've got a whole lot more options without you then.
If you think so, you'd really leave?
I already said you're not making it out of this place one way or the other. If me staying means that you can still leave, I don't think I can do that.
Well, I hate to see it that way.
I think this ends here. I've waited a long time to say that, but I think this ends here.
No way we could just both leave. No?
No.
Just wanted to make sure.
He holds out his hands, and you guys watch as this stream of energy just fills up the air. His smokish figure begins to move up, almost like his hair is blowing in the air, but he doesn't have any hair. And you guys watch as Zash's head is flying forward almost. You guys watch this beam of energy moving between this evil entity and between Zash. As the smoke fills up, this dark smoke moves out of Zash. It gets absorbed up by the entity itself, and you guys watch as Zash falls down to the ground on his knees. You're gasping heavily for air. This huge bit of difficulty breathing overcomes you. It's like you're being suffocated by smoke as every bit of it is flying toward the demon until it all gets absorbed into the entity. good to be whole once again. I wasn't gonna let you keep that after all. That's a part of me. I needed it. Ah, feels so good. Now, if all of you don't mind, I'll still be taking my leave. You guys watch as the cloud that he's standing on opens up, and he just slowly begins to fall down through it. Delilah, no! Screams out as she quickly runs up towards Zash, helps him up a bit, and then... Holy shit. Then she's going to... Nat 20 on this, guys. She's going to jump up into the air, her wings thrusting her up in just a second. They open up span wide once she reaches her peak of height, and she looks down at the hole, which is now somewhat beginning to close. She closes them once again and darts down toward that hole, which is closing tighter and tighter. She pokes right through it as this bit of a cloud just flies through on all sides of her. She hits the demonic creature, and there the smoke disappears and she sees a bit of his face. This is gonna be continued next week.
Thanks, man.
Thank you so much for watching, guys. I hope that you guys enjoyed it. Again, in case you do not know, we are ending a little bit early today, not only for technical issues, but also because Rachel, who plays Mira, was not able to join us today, and once we get into the heat of all of this, I want everybody to be able to be a part of it, especially considering that so much has already happened in this episode, which we need to catch Rachel up on. We hope that you guys enjoyed it, though. If you did, please be sure to like and follow here on Twitch. It's free, just follow over to my channel. So if you want, go ahead and become one of my followers, and then you will be notified every single time we go live every Monday night, 6 p.m. to 9 p.m. Central Standard Time, where, again, the group of us play Dungeons & Dragons live for you in our own homebrew campaign, which is all from our own creations. If you guys do enjoy it too, and you are very artistic and talented, please be sure to send in fan art. We've gotten 2 wonderful pieces of fan art so far, and we would love to get more, and we would love to give shout-outs to you. So if you send in a piece of fan art, we will give you a shout-out, and it will be featured on our intros, as well as when I do the actual intro, so we hope to receive those too. But thank you once again for watching, and say goodbye, everyone.
Bye.
Um,
Goodbye.
Next week.